બસ બરાબર છે મેં
જય ભત હા
એક્સેપ્ટ કરવાનું મારે અહીંયા આવશે તો
જય ભત છે ને મેઇન સ્પીકર છે આજનો
પરિસ્થિતિ નાખી દઈને એમાં
ચાલો
રિસ્ટાર્ટ
અહીંયા પર YouTube પર લાઈવ થઈ એ તો કમ્પ્લીટ છે પણ હવે જે લોકો YouTube ની લિંક ઓપન કરશે એ લોકોને
એ તો 5 વાગે એક્ઝેક્ટ બેવાના છે તું કોન્ફરન્સ 5 વાગે જ ચાલુ થાય ને આ લોકોને બી એડમિટ કરીને જોઈન તો કરી રાખવાનું હા કોઈને ના નહીં પણ હવે પાછું નહીં આવ્યો આપણે સિમ્પલ લોજિક તો
સવારના શું કહેતા હતા કે આટલા પહેલા આપણે થવાના પછી જ આપણે હવે
કરી દેવાના યાર એમાં વાંધો નથી એ લોકો મ્યુટ છે પ્લસ તમે કેમેરો જ્યારે ચાલુ કરશો ત્યારે ડિબેટ ચાલુ થાય ને સ્પીકર ને બધી હવે પેલી બેન નથી કે પરવેશભાઈ મંસૂરી છે એને મ્યુટ કરો તો કેવી રીતે કરે આમાં કા દેખાય તો આ તને અહીંયા સ્પીકર નો સિમ્બોલ દેખાય પણ હવે 150 જણ થાય એમાં પરવેશ મેં કરું ને મેં કરતો જ થાઉં ને
અચ્છા તું ભલે છું લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ પણ એ થયું લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ આપણે મીટિંગ જોઈન કરી
એ તો પેલું વાયો વાળું લેપટોપ માં એવું જ છે પરવેશ વાયોમાં શું થાય છે ડોક્ટર મિર્ઝા સિંહ કેમેરો દેખાય ને એટલે બેટા મીટમાં આવી જાય હા વાયો ના લેપટોપ માં શું તકલીફ છે વાયો ના લેપટોપ માં તકલીફ છે શું થાય એકદમ સ્લો ચાલે આમાં પેજ જ નહીં આપણે ઓન અલા ભાઈ ચાલુ તો છે લેપટોપ માં કોઈ ખામી નથી પણ એકદમ સ્લો છે આમાં ગૂગલ લાઈન પર રાખી દે ને છોડ ને આને વાઈફાઈ પર નહીં થાય કીબોર્ડ નું તો રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ છે રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ પડે તો એટલે એક્સટર્નલ રાખી દે ને કીબોર્ડ નું રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ હા તો બી રાખી દે ને એક્સટર્નલ લે આવતા આપવું પડે કીબોર્ડ ની માઉસ કીબોર્ડ ને બંધ કરીને ચાલુ કરો ને થઈ જશે નહીં થાય એટલે ખબર નહીં લેપટોપ માં તકલીફ છે ડ્રાઈવર નો પ્રોબ્લેમ હા ભાઈ એડમિટ કરે બધા मैं तो कर एपी कॉमर्स का कौन है चंद्रशेखर चंद्रशेखर भाई કરીને કોઈ આવ્યો છે એ તો એડ થયા કરશે થોડી વાર એને તમે ના
જવા દે કેપી કોમર્સ વાળાને જવા દે ડીના એન્ટ્રી
આઉટસાઇડ એટલે આ જે આમાં હશે તે છે ને
ના પણ જવા દે કેપી કોમર્સ વાળા
કેપી કોમર્સ હું સલમા ખાન છે કોઈ એડ કરે હજાર લોકો છે ને તે એડ તો કઈ તો કેવું છે એડ તો કર્યા કરવાના પણ એ લોકો ત્યાંથી વિડિયો અહીંયાથી એ લોકો બંધ કરવો પડે ને પહેલા તો વિડિયો તો એ લોકોએ બંધ તો કરવો પડે ત્યારે આપણા કંટ્રોલમાં હોય છે આપણામાં કંટ્રોલમાં હોય છે મ્યુટ તો છે જ ઓલરેડી નહીં એ લોકો જોઈ શકશે તમને પણ બોલી નહીં શકે તમે કહેશો ને ત્યારે કે પ્રવેશભાઈ અમને ઓન કરો કે બધી ભાઈ ના પણ હવે આનો કેમ દેખાય એક મિનિટ વિડિયો અનમ્યુટ કરી નાખ્યું બરાબર રિમૂવ ફ્રોમ મીટિંગ ને પિન ટુ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ તો આયરો અખ્તર હુસૈન આવી એ બરાબર છે એડ તો કરતા થી આપણે પછી એ લોકોને કી કે ભાઈ ટર્ન ઓફ યોર વિડિયો એક નોટ અહીંયા ચેટ્સ આપી દેવાનું કાઇન્ડલી કહી દઉં ને એમને કાઇન્ડલી ડિસેબલ યોર કેમેરા વેબકેમ જ ને. તમે પેલા દિવસે ઉપર પેલું કયું લેપટોપ લઈને બેસેલા જે આપણું સોસાયટી નું એક હતું ને? એ બી સારું હતું.
ઉપર નહીં આવતું ભાઈ, મેં મોબાઈલમાં ચેક કર્યું. હા નહીં आप भी ऐसे पाँच वागे चालू થશે ને? હા પણ મારે 4:45 ઓકે થઈ જશે. જયપતિ જોઈ ના નથી આવ્યો.
હજુ આવી નથી રિક્વેસ્ટ કરશે એ તો.
એરો વાયરલેસ લે લો. वीडियो ऑफ करें पूनम बोलते तो वीडियो ऑफ मत कर. वीडियो में सेटिंग आपने की नहीं?
મ્યુટ થાય.
वीडियो में सेटिंग
તો
आपने
આપણે
लगभग टाइप है ना में. वीडियो तो दिखा ये लोग
મ્યુટ બધા થઈ જ જશે આપણે અહીંયાથી જ કરીએ. તો કઈને મેં કીધું ને એમ તો બધાને વાતો કરી. ભાઈ આપણે કિક આઉટ કરવું પડે. જો આ બધા જ બંધ કરી.
એટલે આપણે પાસે કંટ્રોલ હોય છે. હા પૂછ્યો એ લોકો સીધા તાકાને આ લોકો તો મિક્સ પણ નહીં લીધેલા. સ્ટાફ જ
ઝૂમ પર લીધેલું.
સેટિંગ માં નહીં જો ને આપણે મીટિંગ ડિટેલ્સ માં અપ એરો પર ક્લિક કરો. अपन सेटिंग में हो नहीं આવતું.
બધું કરવા જાય ને તો
પણ જો તો કરે સેટિંગ માં
એ આપણું બતાવે.
બરાબર
આપણું છે.
આને લખો ને કે નામ સાથે
એમને મેસેજ તો ચેટ થાય ને પર્ટિક્યુલર બી ચેટ થાય પૂનમ.
कर दे जो गया पाछी.
હવે અમને કીધું ને પ્રવીણભાઈ ને
પ્રવીણ
ચેટ નો ઓપ્શન અહીંયા તો છે જ નહીં.
ફરીથી ચેક કરી દે કે પ્લીઝ.
હા હા ફરીથી કહી દેવું ને.
હા પ્લીઝ કાઇન્ડલી ડિસેબલ યોર કેમેરા. એટલે આપણું પેલું બંને અલગ અલગ આઈડી કામ કરી ગયું. ત્યારે આપણે જે ફોન પર ડિસ્કસ કરતા હતા.
નામ સાથે લખીને મોકલાવું.
કેપી વાળા પર રજીસ્ટ્રેશન કરાવ્યું છે મેડમ. જય 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 બસ કહ્યું હા આવી ગયું એ ઓન થવા દે છે. હે મેઇન સ્પીકર છે. આખા સેશનમાં એમનું બંધ નહીં થવું જોઈએ. એ આજના મેઇન સ્પીકર છે. પેલો ફોન તમે લઈ જવાના હતા.
એમની આપની
આપણે ચેરમેન સાહેબ આવી ગયા.
ગુડ મોર્નિંગ.
ભાઈ આમાં પણ માઈક હોય કે
अरे नहीं है तो आ लाखी देनी भाई ले
Yeah, hello Jay bhai.
Good morning, Kamlesh bhai. Kem cho?
I am fine. Good to see you. I'm very
તમે
good
ત્યાં
to
બેસો
see
મેડમ
you.
I'm so happy to be here too. This is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. You know, like it's a great thing happening.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This is great, and you know my love for India and my love for doing
And
great things. So we'll try our best, whatever we can do in this time.
yeah, certainly. No, it will be interesting because a lot of good people around. So it'll be a great celebration.
I see a lot of people here. I see Minal, I see Mita, I see Surendra Singh Yadav, Praveen Qureshi, Kinnari Thakur, Akhtar Hussain, Dr. Nizar Singh, many other people.
Good evening.
Good evening, Akhtar. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. What about you? Going well?
I am okay so far. Yeah, doing okay. So far, we are still all working from home.
Yeah.
So.
શું
Here,
ચાર્જર છે કે નહીં
living in Noida and Ghaziabad. My office is in Ghaziabad.
Okay.
So we
એક
are
લિંક
open now.
હા ને મોબાઈલ થી બી કેમ કે ડાયરેક્ટ એમ હેન્ડ ફ્રી લગાવવાનું છે
So
સામે મોબાઈલ મૂકી દેવાનો
we don't know when, but we are, all the planning is started here to reopen library.
હવારી ચેક કરતો તો ભાઈ
All our teaching, all research, all consultation were all completely online. So we're spending almost like 10 to 12 hours a day just trying to figure out support services to our faculty and students. Yeah. It was quite a challenging period.
But in US, things is under control or situation is still critical.
It is it is improving. The number of cases are going down in some states. In Philadelphia area, we are moving to green phase in next week. So which means it is good, getting better. But again,
do take care of yourself very much.
Yeah, but the one of the problems is people don't realize the seriousness of this issue. So as soon as something opens up, and they just simply flock on the streets and on the beaches and all over, and then it creates a problem.
Now, Parvez sir is online. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to everyone. Hi Jay, how are you?
Oh, hello, good morning. Good evening to you.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Yadmin, how are you?
Yeah, Parvez Saab, I'm fine. You know, like good to see you again.
And I had lucky. I was lucky to meet with Kamlesh Bhai and Ami Ben in Philadelphia a year ago. So they happened to be here, so we had a chance to visit library here.
Hello everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, Mita ma'am. Good
Hello.
evening. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Parvez साहब घर पे हैं क्या आप?
हाँ अभी बस I just reached. I was in office, so I thought I just reached home.
How do I share the presentation from Google? This is the first time I'm using Google
No,
Meet.
I'll tell you. You see one box on the right bottom which says present now.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
You click there, and after that you choose your entire screen.
Okay.
Once you do it, you will get a screen. You will get a screen. First you have to click on the screen. And once you click on the screen, this share button will be enabled. Yes.
Where is the share? Okay, I see. Stop sharing. So it is.
No, it is already shared. It is already shared.
Okay, but now I have to pull. How do I add?
Go. I think go on the top. You will find
what is
one button is stop sharing.
Present. You are presenting.
Go in the top bar. Go in the top bar.
Okay, I'll just send you through WhatsApp.
Got it?
I sent you from Hemakshi Modi. HEMAXI.
Jay, you are still presenting, so no, I think you pressed the wrong. Yeah. I think now I think it's fine.
Okay.
Sharing is stopped. Jay, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Jay?
Yes. Request
Oh, it seems he's disconnected.
Hello, yeah, Maria. I'm fine. You are not
Better to
connecting?
join through Google Chrome because Mozilla is
Okay,
creating problem
get connected. Everyone has come.
in this.
Yes, so once Jay joins back, we'll have to tell him.
But sir, we have already sent instruction regarding this to people. Participant will join through Google Chrome only.
Right, but we are not sure whether they will actually do so.
Yeah, he is online.
Yeah, Jay, you are using Google Chrome? Hi, Jay. You are muted, Jay. Can you unmute?
Okay. So now I click on present now.
No, I just want to ask, you are using Google Chrome?
Yes, I'm using Google Chrome.
Okay, that's fine.
And I click on your entire screen.
Right.
એ તો already joint જ છે.
એકવાર જોઈન્ટ થઈ જાય એટલે ઘડી ઘડીની પૂછ્યા કરે. આવી ગયો ચાલ તું.
Is it
વિડિયો ને બંધ કરે તારું.
Yeah, it started sharing.
But and now I go back to my screen. How do I upload the presentation?
No. Now what you can do, you can open the presentation which you want to show.
Okay.
Yeah, we are able to see your screen. Yeah, absolutely fine. Just yes, absolutely fine.
Okay. Okay. So
whenever you want, you can stop sharing, and then again, once we start this session, you can start. You can share the screen, then we can proceed then.
Okay. Let's see. Go back.
Hello.
Yeah. So now I stop sharing, but I know what to do now. So we can just
right.
Share, I just start sharing at that point, and then in about 5 minutes, I guess we are starting. So.
Right. Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Okay. Great. And then we can open the presentation, and then we'll go from there. So first, all the introduction based upon the schedule, and then I will. After that is over, then I'll start sharing. Right after.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's 7:00 there or 6:30?
It is 7:25 here.
25 ની ઉપર કોઈ આવ્યો નહીં 5 વાગવાનો.
So in about 5 minutes it will be. I think we'll be starting. Actually, this week we are also having all the American Society of Engineering Education conference. So we were all attending for the last 4 days.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
It's a virtual conference. It was supposed to be in Montreal, but because of this, they changed it to.
Okay. So
I was so excited to
Link open
all
kar
the
એટલે request આવશે.
webinars and presentations happening in India in the last 2 months. It's just.
તમે લિંક બનાવી ને.
Just say yes.
You are right actually.
Just say yes.
There are so many webinars happening all across that
Yes.
it is difficult to remember which day is which webinar.
Exactly. But my question to everybody is
Let you in once you join it, na?
out of all these hundreds of presentations, are
Yeah. Okay.
people actually learning something from it, or just they're
Yes. Yes.
saying that we attended this webinar and they post a certificate or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
curious.
I mean, we of course there's no evidence or we have not done any study. But what I feel is when I see all these webinars and kind of questions that are asked, so I feel maybe it is at least of some benefit to
Yes,
20% of the people. So
definitely.
so I
Yeah,
think that is good enough. Even if
yeah.
20% people are satisfied, they are happy, they are learning something, I think we are
Exactly.
achieving our goal. And
We are,
yes,
and they learn from each other, so they also share idea of information with their friends, their colleagues, and
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
that
we are not
knowledge
getting your request.
transfer does take place in the
Yes.
process, and
So
see all the questions and interaction. That's really good. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
yes,
it's there only.
but at the same
Use,
time, let me tell you, see,
click that to join.
the quality of webinar is also an issue.
Hello.
Yeah.
Now, what is
Did you
happening
click
is
on the
that
join the meeting?
everybody is doing webinar. I'm not
But we are
saying
not
any
receiving your
people
message,
who have
your request.
less knowledge, they should not speak. But what I'm trying to say is that we should make
Hello.
sure that we are able to provide quality content so that
Yeah, do
people
again
are able
join.
to learn something
Do
from
one thing, you
such
log out and
webinars.
again you do
It
it.
should not
Yeah.
happen that you see something is said in the webinar which is actually factually incorrect. So
Exactly.
so I think that is the danger.
That is a danger, and that is why today's topic is so critical in that sense. It's not just a webinar, but you see all
Yes.
this spread in WhatsApp and social
Yes.
media without
Yeah.
people are
Join it,
just
click it.
spreading things without thinking and justifying the facts.
Yeah, that is unfortunate actually. And the thing is that a large mass of people, they actually believe in all those
Hello.
things. That is something very worrying.
So did you click it?
Exactly.
That is worrying. And
So what is it saying?
it is leading to all kinds of social unrest and whatnot.
Yeah. Very much so.
But we are not receiving your request.
And I am so happy that this is going to be organized by the Sarojini Education Society,
Yes.
Surat, MTB College, and these are all.
Hello.
I'm native from Surat. I was born in Surat, so this is a matter of great feeling for me to be able to do something.
No, but I would like to
Yeah,
make you more
in your
happy,
email account,
and
the
of course,
link
Yagni
is there.
sir.
Click it.
We started doing this libraries development program in 2008. So Surat was the place where we started this LDP, and yes, and I went there. And after that, we also conducted a few more
25 people
LDPs there.
already joined.
And in
Joined
most of
this
the
week.
webinars, sorry, not webinars, but LDBs which were conducted at SES, I was always there.
Wow.
I'll send you the mail again.
Yeah, very good.
So
Yeah.
so no, for us, no sir, for us also, to organize such thing at
Hello.
a very old education society, it is a privilege actually for us also.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone join up.
And the whole idea is also you're bridging and you're connecting people from all over the world and in India, because you're seeing participants coming from all over India in all these webinars. So it's kind of connecting people in that sense.
Yes, absolutely. So when are we starting?
Hello, Akhtar.
It's 5 o'clock. When are we starting?
Hello, Akhtar. Hello, can you hear me?
So
We have few minutes left, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Mute me.
Hello.
Video तो त्या ठीक है.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
is my voice clear, just to make sure you're able to hear my voice?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shiv Kumar is not able to join actually.
All right. So
Are you? Okay. Now we got connected.
ઓકે માં અહીંયા કેમ નહીં બતાવતું એક્સેપ્ટ કરાવતું તો કરાવ તો તાટી કરાવતી છે
All right, all right.
જેટલાને બધાને એડ કરાવતી
Yeah.
થયા 31 બે
Hello.
Dr. Sri Kumar. Dr. Sri Kumar, can you
हाँ,
check
भी
if you
गया।
are not muted? In case you have already joined.
I have joined.
કરિયા કર તું એડમિટ કરિયા કર
Yeah, very
હા,
well.
એ તો વાંધો નહીં આપણાને અહીંયા દેખાય નહીં તો બધાને દેખાય લેઆઉટ ખાલી ખોલું
Thank you.
ટાઇટલ કરી
So welcome,
Hello, Sri
welcome.
Kumar.
Hello, how are you, Dr. J?
Good to see you again.
Okay.
I think one Mr. M. Prakash Rao is sharing his screen.
5 વાગી
Mr.
ગયા
Prakash Rao, can you
તમારે
stop
ચાલશે
sharing,
કરિયા કરો
please?
ક્લિક કરિયા કરો
Mr.
બરાબર
Prakash, can you please stop? Dr. M. Prakash Rao. I think by mistake you have shared your screen. Can you please stop sharing?
કરી દીધું છે
Now Priyanka Roy is presenting. Priyanka, can you please stop sharing? No, you don't have to actually share your screen. You just have to make sure that see whenever you want to.
Joining.
ટાઇટલ
Yeah. So this stop sharing button you will find on the top bar. So just take your cursor to the top bar, and then you will see that stop sharing option. Hello, Dr. Nizar Singh, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Quite good. Good to see you in every program.
Thank you.
I think can you start now?
Yeah, but the Priyanka has to stop sharing her screen first.
Priyanka Roy, please.
Yes. Yeah, she has done it.
Can we
So how do we, how do we control this sharing of screen
Yeah,
at your end?
the technical here. Technical people should control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should put a word with them. Otherwise, our Jay Bhatt sir will lose his control.
No, but what happens when Mr. Jay Bhatt starts sharing, nobody will be able to share, what I understand.
Okay.
And you have to this disable multiple sharing.
ભાઈ સેવ કા તો
अच्छा एक डिसेबल मल्टीपल शेयरिंग એવો આવે છે ઓપ્શન એટલે આ કિન્નરીને કહો ને વિડિયો ઓફ કરો
એમને તો
Once
મેં
I
ચેટ
start
કરીને કીધું પણ
sharing,
કઈ
I will be
એમને
only able
રિસ્પોન્સ
to
જ
see
નહીં
my slides. I can't see like in Zoom. You are also able to see. I
No,
guess
you'll
not.
be able to see others in the yeah.
ચેટ
It is up to you whether you want to hide that particular portion
ત્યાંથી
or
જ
not.
કરી
It is up to you.
No, actually, when I'm presenting, I just want to focus on my presentation.
Then you can minimize those things.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes.
Yes. So shall we start?
Yeah, shall we start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are muted.
Yes.
Who is muted?
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Okay. Let's
Again
start.
muted.
Yeah. It's fine now.
Yeah. Okay. So namaskar and very good evening to respected Chairman Sarvajanik Education Society Shri Kamleshwar Yagnik, Office Bearers of SES, President of Manlibnet Dr. M.G. Kumar, General Secretary Manlibnet Dr. Akhtar Parvez, core team members of Manlibnet LDP, other EC members of Manlibnet, my colleagues at SES and PRC, and dear participants. Very good morning to eminent speaker of today's session and a very good friend Shri Jay Bhatt. At the outset, on behalf of Chundilal Gandhi Vidya Bhavan of Sarvajanik Education Society and Management Libraries Network, I'm delighted to welcome you all on the first day of 3-day International Virtual Librarian Development Program organized jointly by Manlibnet and SES. Manlibnet and SES have organized many collaborative events in the past too. It's my proud privilege to be part of SES as well as Manlibnet. Moving further, it's my pleasure to welcome and introduce General Secretary of Manlibnet, Dr. Akhtar Parvez. Dr. Akhtar Parvez is a very humble person by nature and quite popular in Elias professional community for his forever help.
That. I think
Okay, okay. So presently he is a university librarian with Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad, and he is currently the General Secretary of Manlibnet. So with these few words, now I invite Dr. Akhtar Parvez to brief the August audience about Manlibnet and its activities. Over to you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, and warm welcome to all the people there in the audience, and of course, I'm very grateful to Sarvajinic Education Society for collaborating with us, and in particular Yagnik Saab and of course Dr. Rathod. I am also very grateful to Mr. Jay as usual, and let me tell you, his presentation on fake news. In fact, he has prepared this presentation on our request. We wanted him to speak on fake news, and he has prepared a presentation for us. And hopefully, we all will benefit from this. What is disinformation? What is misinformation, etc., etc. So, just to give you a brief of Management Libraries Network, let me tell you that it was born in 1998 and formally registered in the year 2000. And we do a lot of activities like we hold conferences, we hold LDPs, then there are a lot of publications that we come out. There are a few awards that we give. So now when I say about the conference, so you see almost 17 or 18 conferences have already been organized by us. And the institution where we organized include I am Ahmedabad, I am Indore, I am Kozhikode, I am Lucknow, XLRA Jamshedpur, IMT Ghaziabad, and then we have Nirma University, then we have KIT, Jaipuria Institute of Management, TAPMI. So there are a lot of other, Parul, I should not forget because Parul is Gujarat. So last conference we organized was in Parul. And as I was telling everyone in the beginning that, it was the year 2008 when we organized our first LDP at SES. And after that also we organized a few LDPs at SES and few other cities. So far, we have organized 13 or 14 LDPs, and the idea is basically to, reach out to those who are actually not able to, or who do not have exposure to technology and advanced, library things which are taking place. But I'm very happy that through this medium, that is, and we never thought one day we'll be organizing virtual LDP. So this is our second LDP that we are organizing, and through this, we are able to reach out to a large number of people at one go. So that is one advantage of technology. But having said that, there are limitations of technology. There, of course, maybe some people who will not be able to watch it for various reasons. But anyway, I mean, these are all part and parcels of such technological advancements. And we come out proceedings of our conferences. Apart from that, we publish a journal called Journal of Library Management, and to incentivize our library professionals, what we do is we actually give travel grant, international travel grant to present research paper outside India. So that's one thing which we do, and we are very happy that a lot of people have taken advantage of this grant. And I must not forget to mention that Bharat Book Bureau is the one who has given us a large amount of money, and the interest is being used for it. The only thing is that all these benefits or all these awards, etc., they are given to Manlibnet members. So you should become Manlibnet members so that you should become eligible to these awards. So I think this is all we do, and I'm sure there is always a scope for improvement. We are every time we are improving. We are thinking how we can be of some benefit to our library professionals, especially young library professionals. And I'm very sure in the near future we'll be able to do many more things. So congratulations to Dr. Meeta Rathore and SES, and especially Yagnik Saab. I'm very happy that you allowed us to do this program in collaboration of your institution. So thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Jay Bhatt, for agreeing to give this important presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
It has been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Akhtar Parvez, for enlightening about Manlibnet Association and its activities. It's my proud privilege to welcome and introduce present chairman of Sarvajanik Education Society, Mr. Kamlesh Yagnik. He is qualified MTech from IIT Mumbai. He was the president of Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Surat, in the year 2013-14. He was also past chairman of Computer Society of India Surat chapter in the year 2012-13. He is executive committee member of Institute of Engineers Surat branch. He is also trustee of Surat Raktadan Kendra and Surat Climate Change Trust. Above all, his interest in the literary activities like arts and music and drama is well known to the people of Surat. So may I now please request respected Mr. Kamlesh Yagnik sir to address the virtual gathering. Sir, please.
Thank you, Meeta. And first of all, on behalf of Sarvajanik Education Society, I'm very much pleased to welcome all of you who are participating in today's deliberation. Sarvajanik Education Society, as we know, it is over 108-year-old organizations catering to the need of close to 35,000 students of South Gujarat in various faculties. And I'm very happy, and I just got to know from Parvez Saab is that Sarvajanik Education Society was instrumental in organizing the first LDP, and today, like in the same sequence, we are on the 14th in a row. And the subjects in these 3 days, the subjects which are amazing, and the points, which are touched upon, and especially, today, what we are going to deliberate, is something amazing, because, in today's time, especially in the time of social media, we every day, every moment, we meet someone known as a Paul Joseph Goebbels. Paul Joseph Goebbels, as we all know, was a minister of propaganda in Hitler's ministry. And today, everywhere, we find Goebbels around us. And how to come out of it, we need something, which we call in Sanskrit, there's a beautiful word, Akhtar Saab, is Vivek. So, we need, like a kind of Vivek, and very close translated meaning of Viveka in English is wisdom or a knowledge. And the person, who is going to show and will take us to very near to wisdom and knowledge is none other than a person whom we all know and respect is Jay Bhatt. So I compliment Jay Saab for taking time out and, being with us. And I also compliment all the office bearers, of Manlibnet, including, Mr. Sriji Kumar and Mr. Akhtar Hussain and Mr. Akhtar Parvez for organizing this wonderful event, having a very good success. And my compliments to everyone. And close, I'm sure, Meeta has been relentlessly working for last many days, organizing, talking, like ensuring that everything goes well. And Meeta, everything has gone well and everything will end well. So compliments and thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for such kind words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Kamlesh sir has always been very supporting and encouraging. Like we are working together since I think 12, 13 years. We started working together in 2008 while networking of multiple libraries of Sarvajanik Education Society. In that from that project, we are working together with Kamlesh sir. So thank you very much, sir, for illuminating about the tremendous contribution of SES in the field of education for the benefit of people of Surat. Now, may I like to welcome and introduce our dynamic president of Manlibnet, Dr. M.G. Shri Kumar. Dr. M.G. Shri Kumar is an adjunct professor in humanities and liberal arts and management.
Dr. Meeta.
Yeah.
We'll cut short the.
Yes. Okay, sir. Okay. Under the vibrant leadership of Dr. Shri Kumar, Manlibnet very successfully introduced and organized 5-day international virtual librarian development program in the month of May 2020. So this is the second IBSDP in the series. So may I now please request Dr. Sri Kumar to introduce the speaker of the session, Mr. Jai Bhatt. Over to you, Dr. Sri Kumar.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dr. Meeta Rathod. Dear Dr. Jai Bhatt, dear Dr. Kamlesh Yagnik, Chairman of SES, colleagues at SES, Dr. Akhtar Parvez, General Secretary, office bearers and EC members and members of Manlibnet, dear delegates of the International Virtual LDP, dear senior colleagues and budding professionals from the library and management fraternity, and fellow students. A very good evening. And so, Dr. Bhatt, Dr. Jai Bhatt, it is a very good morning. Let me welcome you all to this program, and please be safe. Please stay safe. Today is yet another auspicious day for all of us at Manlibnet as we kick off the second International Virtual Librarian Development Program jointly with the SES CGA Vidya Bhavan Sudan. I take this opportunity to express Manlibnet's sincere thanks to SES students for their kind support. As we all know, the whole world is at war with the coronavirus, COVID-19, and the lockdown has affected all of us so badly and severely. India too has been relentlessly fighting COVID-19, and we hope we will come out of this pandemic soon. Manlibnet wish you a safe life to you and during all these days. We have 3 interesting series of lectures in this series. So Manlibnet expresses its sincere thanks to all the participants for your keen interest in the LDP. If you look at the speakers of this LDP, the LDP is being handled by world-class experts from prestigious global institutions such as Dr. Jai Bhatt from Drexel University, Dr. Maria Amande from ISCTE Lisbon University Institute, Portugal, and Professor Akhtar Yagnik from Penn State University, USA. I wish you all a wonderful LDP filled with very insightful knowledge, discussions, debates, and deliberations. Today's session is by Dr. Jai Bhatt, Drexel University, as I was mentioning, on the topic evaluating information in the age of fake information and news stories. Jai Bhatt is the engineering librarian at Drexel University. As the librarian for engineering, he is responsible for building library collections in engineering subject areas, as well as outreach and teaching information and research skills to faculty and students in Drexel's College of Engineering and College of Biomedical Engineering. He creates relevant library guides for engineering areas, provides individual and small group consultations, conducts instructional sessions and workshops, and provides online research support for students in on-campus and distant learning programs. In 2017, Jai received the Engineering Librarian of the Year Award from the Engineering Division of the Special Libraries Associations. He received the Homer I. Bernhardt Distinguished Service Award from the Engineering Libraries Division of the American Society for Engineering Education in 2010. So with this, I welcome Dr. Jai. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and kindly agreeing to make this lecture for the Manlibnet. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Yeah, before Jai starts, let me just request all the participants to kindly mute their audio and disable their video.
Please,
okay?
please.
Because otherwise Mr. Jai Bhatt will get disturbed. Thank you.
And one more thing, like in the chat box, just put your questions. Please don't introduce yourself or don't send a greeting messages. Plus, just put your participants. Please put your
participants are requested to follow the instructions.
yeah.
And we can see on the screen one video because it is all distracting the participants.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Can we request Mr. Nahak to please disable his video? And I think Poonam
Joshi, please disable your video.
and then there is another person. Green color. Nitin, can you please disable your video? And also there is one person. Okay, so I think they will slowly. Who is this?
Choinga that's sharing something, I don't know.
Can you please disable? Nitin, can you please disable your video? Nitin, yeah, you. Nitin, you have to disable your video. Poonam Joshi, please. Yeah. Yeah, please, I think. Nitin, your
Okay, can I start or?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Trying,
Okay.
this thing is, going.
Okay,
Nitin, go to your video. Nitin.
Okay, is everybody able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, is everybody able to see my first, my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yeah, we are able to see.
Okay, wonderful. So let's get started. I hear echo of my voice. Okay, great. So thank you, Dr. Srikumar, for your wonderful introduction, and Dr. Kamlesh Bhai for wonderful introduction to the topic today. So I'm going to be talking about evaluating information in the age of fake information and news stories. And this has been a wonderful inspiration for me as I'm hearing a lot of forwards from WhatsApp and other social media platforms, and that is actually causing a lot of problem because people are forwarding news stories and without even actually identifying the fact, right? So let's get started. Um, and part of the reason is because so much of information overload and so much of fake news and disinformation and misinformation that is happening. And I took this nice picture from this particular website that is also under this link under this first slide here. So you can actually be able to go there and click on it and see what they talk about fake news. So I tried to provide some additional websites in my presentation so you all can go to those sites and get more details. So what is happening? There's an ethical journalism network. If you go to ethicaljournalismnetwork.org, there's a whole website on that. And they have identified 3 different types of fake information: disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. So disinformation, information that is false and deliberately created to harm a person, social group, and organization or country. Misinformation, which is false, it's not created, but it's the intention of causing harm. And malinformation, information that is bad on reality, used to inflict harm on a person, organization, or a country. So, what I suggest and what I think is every time we have an urge or desire to post something, we must make sure that am I posting something right or is it something false? And how do I find out? So, the next few slides, we are going to be talking about how to identify misinformation and fake news so that we don't forward and we try to be responsible citizens. We here at Drexel University has access to this database called Statista, which has insights and facts across 600 industries and more than 50 countries. And you can see that it has a number of statistical data, reports available, outlooks available, tools, infographics available. There's a search box there, and I just search for fake news in India or fake news. I can find anything, right? So they published this whole report dedicated to fake news in India. Right? It's 59-page report, lot of data compiled, an overall outlook has been provided on the news media and news consumption patterns in the subcontinent, along with level of trust in the media and factors influencing credibility of news organizations. And I have highlighted a couple of items from this particular report. Uh, Fake news is a serious threat. Source is Teresa. It's a valid source compiled by a lot of scholars and after going through a number of sites and evaluating them. So it is a fact. It is a really great quality information. Um, uh, Statista provides access to more than 1 billion statistics and facts from more than 18,000 sources within the US and internationally. And 2000 survey showed that a whopping 88% of the first-time voters across India agreed that fake news was a real problem. Unverified information can reach even the most critical thinkers. Overwhelming majority of people in the country access news primarily through social media, where information rarely gets checked for validity and authenticity. Largest market for WhatsApp with more than 300 million users. Users forward more content than anywhere else in the world. As long as we are forwarding good quality information, that is okay. But when we are intentionally or unintentionally we start forwarding things without checking the authenticity, it becomes a real problem. Content gets forwarded without any checks, further driving misinformation in the social sphere. And this is the source where this report was published. As you can see, it was published in August of 2019, so not very old. And I'm sure in the last 1 year, even more and more such fake stories are shared. Another report that they have in this particular Statista database is called Fake News Worldwide. So it is not just limited to India, but it is all over the world. Fake news has been a prevalent issue of years and is often worryingly insidious in how it spreads and reaches consumers. So you might want to go through this, and essentially it is also pointing out that uh, social media remains the latest and trusted news source globally. Many consumers still get much of their news from such networks and are more susceptible to fake news and either unknowingly witnessing or sharing inaccurate content. So a lot of times we just don't think before posting something, and this could be a completely false information. And during the course of this presentation, I have actually compiled examples, stories of fake news that happened in the past. This is another movement called Awaz. It is a global web movement to bring people-powered politics to decision-making everywhere. And again, their major goal is to educate community and people about the dangers of fake news and misinformation. And it has this information on the page which says this information has the potential to change public opinion, amplify an issue, and even change the course of elections. And you might want to go the link that I have given above and explore some of the reports that they have provided. And I have given one example from the Spanish perspective, which is WhatsApp social media's dark web. And there's the whole statistics and data that they have compiled, and how this messaging service is being flooded with lies ahead of the Spanish elections. And they have compiled the data on this, which is available on this website. Scale of disinformation problem. And disinformation continues to impact our democracies at a massive scale. And these many estimated views of disinformation detected by the team, Awaz. So when I took a screenshot, it was almost like 2 or 3 weeks ago while I was preparing the presentation. This number should have gone up by now. Now, Business Insider magazine, it's one of the trusted magazines here, and they ran this whole story about most viewed fake news stories shared on Facebook in 2019. And this is one example. Facebook is the largest social media service on the planet with over 2 billion users, quarter the world's population. And policing Facebook is a tremendous challenge. One of the service's biggest policing issues with fake news stories, which was particularly big problem in the US. And then, despite Facebook's effort to stop the spread of fake news, the massive social media services still rifle with it. In 2019, the top 100 fake news stories on Facebook were viewed over 150 million times, enough to reach every registered voter at least once, according to the non-profit that did the study. So there are a lot of data such as this are compiled. And then my focus today is not just on the social political issues, but also on the educational upfront. And I think students are unprepared to judge the credibility of information on the internet, according to Stanford researchers. So this is uh, Stanford University, their researchers doing a research and publishing their data. Despite mounting attention to the threat of fake news on the internet and efforts to nationwide to improve digital media literacy, high school students still have difficulty discerning fact from fiction. This is very, very important. And we are talking about high school, but before they were in elementary school before, and that base starts when even in second, third, or fourth standards. And as we all know, that in today's world, little kids can start going on the computer, on the internet, without realizing good and the bad aspects of it. So then I wanted to take one step forward to think about today's teenagers and their impact and the impact of fake news on them. So, do twins and teens believe fake news? So, fake news stories mimic real news, challenging to distinguish between real and fake. Schools and colleges need to be proactive in teaching how to distinguish. Again, this is coming from a very new, very reliable source called commonsensemedia.org. And I strongly encourage every one of you to go to this website and start exploring the important tips that they're providing. And we believe that everything on the internet is true. This is a nice little cartoon that says, what do you mean all my facts are wrong? I copied everything straight off the internet. And that is what the general assumption today is, even among older people and even students and children who are relying on internet to do the homeworks. And simply because they can easily copy and paste without worrying about plagiarism, they post everything. And if they copy something wrong, paste something wrong, they still don't want to admit that they had copied and pasted wrong information. And few weeks ago, we did a presentation on research integrity and plagiarism. This is sort of in continuation with this topic, but more to do with fake news, which is also plays a very important role in educating our students. And another approach, this is another cartoon.
Hello, Jay.
Yes.
Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you're not sharing PPT properly. Well, I can see your face, but PPT you have to show the PPTs.
PPT it is available in the side only.
Sidebar. Yeah.
Oh, so how do I do that? I thought I was sharing the screen.
But I can see properly. I can see the screen properly. No issue.
Hello. You can.
I can see properly. No issue.
No issue.
Yeah, I can see PPTs properly.
Okay, but because on my screen I'm only seeing the slide, I don't even see myself, so I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, I can also see the PPTs properly, not you.
Okay, good. Because I made sure that I was sharing the screen and I'm just sharing the PowerPoint and nothing else. How about everybody else? Are they able to see the PowerPoint or not?
My
No,
screen it
sir.
is taken on the
We
left
can't see the
side
PowerPoint.
middle.
Yes, we can see the PowerPoint.
You can or you cannot?
We can, we can.
We can.
We
I
can.
can't, sir. I can't.
We can.
Okay, everyone, please mute yourself.
Yeah, please mute yourself.
Everyone, please mute yourself. Jay, but please carry on.
Okay.
Please also mute your videos, others,
All of you, please listen to
Jay,
your video.
My video?
No, you
Uh-huh.
should. I'm
I
talking
should continue.
about
Okay, okay.
participants.
Okay. So now I provided the general background on what is happening.
I think
So what should be the next steps? Are there any ways to identify fake stories? So the first thing we need to do is ourselves, we need to learn how to identify fake news. We need to develop awareness of existing and emerging fact check tools. And unless we know, we cannot transmit that knowledge to our students. So we as professionals and educators need to take responsibility for that before we can teach. So and then remember that peer-to-peer knowledge is the way our today's younger generation shares information. So if they also know about dangers of social media, how especially if they are sharing wrong stories, um, with their knowledge they can stop doing that. So let us explore some of the web sources here. International Fact Checking Network. This is the link above. Strongly encourage you to go and explore this site and what initiatives they have taken. You will see here everything. And uh, 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 International Fact Checking Network is a unit of the Poynter Institute dedicated to bringing together fact checkers worldwide. So this is one of the greatest initiatives to promote best practices and exchanges in the field. So you can go through these details later. And their mission is to reduce the level of deception and confusion in the. This is from the US perspective, but of course, this concept can be applied everywhere. And we are going to be focusing more on the scenarios as happening in India in the next few slides later on. And they also have a lot of other fact check sites like SciCheck. So there are a lot of science and technology based wrong claims have also been forwarded to wrong myths. So how to check science stories, all of this you can be able to find that here. One of the fake stories, fake news that was forwarded and promoted was that a COVID-19 is not caused by bacteria. And again, this is a false information, and the complete story you can be able to find that. Um, so it is very important that we also read news stories with a critical eye on our thinking. How this was started. The claim started spreading as a text message, Portuguese version circulating on WhatsApp was debunked by the Brazilian fact. And again, another version was debunked by India Today. So again, India Today magazine also ran this story. But it has been migrated to social media platforms and Facebook and spreading in popular American conspiracy theory groups. So how do we debunk false stories? Factcheck.org is one of such organizations working with Facebook to debunk misinformation shared on social media. And there are a lot of steps provided here. And there's a link here. There are a couple of stories here. Again, fact check examples are given. A viral, I'm just reading the one. Flu shot does not cause false positive results. That was a story that was being forwarded in social media in last month. Viral claim on Facebook. Error message tells users that you will test positive for COVID-19 if you have gotten flu shots during the past 10 years. Vaccine and Infectious Disease experts told us that that is false, and the Food and Drug Administration says this has not been observed in any authorized test. So please be careful while we share information about COVID-19 on the media. There is another resource called trutherfiction.com. Internet users can quickly and easily get information about e-rumors, fake news, disinformation, warnings if you go to this website. One source, this was also prolifically shared sometime, actually earlier this month. You can see in this picture that Hitler is holding a Bible on the top left picture, and President Trump is holding also the Bible. So now what is happening is somehow they manipulated these pictures and then ran a story. Um, uh, uh, so again, this is a disinformation, and the whole the details you can find on this website. And this is more details here. You can see it more clearly here, and you can see the hand is very similar, the same position. This story was also popularly shared, and I have seen it myself. I have received this in WhatsApp in the past. And at that time, I could not even believe that this is false. Did a woman in India give birth to 11 babies at once? And you can see that there are 11 babies here. But the fact is, the photo actually shows 11 babies born to different mothers at an Indian hospital on a significant date, November 2011. And the hospital later posted more photos of babies here. And if you go to this website, then you will see the correct information. Times of India Fact Check is another important initiative that Times of India started. It is a fact-checking initiative launched by Times Internet Limited, Times of India Group company, to fight fake news and misinformation. In the digital era where misinformation is not just a result of erroneous reporting, fact-checking is critical. So my major point I'm sharing here today is, before we post anything, we must try to fact-check before we forward a story. Try to, and that is why I'm sharing with all these fact-check tools. So Times of India Fact Check has all these little stories, and this is one of the screenshots with all the fact stories here. One example here is the fake photo from California shared in the name of fire in Uttarakhand forest. This man kicking tennis ball in this viral clip is not Diego. And so a lot of different stories you might want to go and explore here. So if you just type Times of India Fact Check, you can pull up their stories. And now I'm trying, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this Google tool that was, Google has created this called Google Fact Check Explorer. So this is the website. If you just type in Google Fact Check Explorer, you will see a website, and then you can just start searching in the search box with a topic or the title of the story that you have doubts about. Just copy and paste the title, and if there are stories that shows that this is false, and you will see the proof of why it is false. Here are some examples. Google Fact Check Explorer. I'm again trying to explore COVID-19, and again, this is COVID-19 is caused by bacteria, exacerbated by 5G technology, and can be cured using painkillers and antibiotics. And then the rating is false. It is not caused by bacteria and cured by antibiotics. And there are many other claims and other false stories we can find here. There are more here. Viral post claims that the government is giving 5,000 rupees as relief funds as a limited time offer. Again, this is false. And you will have to go and explore this because there's a lot of stories, details about how Boom came up with this false, and you'll see the details. WhatsApp message promising free 5,000 rupees in relief funds from the government as a limited time offer is fake. Boom found that the message redirects one to questionable website with many red flags, which is in no way is associated with the government. Boom also found the same message and similar website is viral on Kenyan social media, offering this claim lockdown benefits in Kenyan shillings instead of Indian rupees. So people can manipulate all these stories, and it can promote so much false propaganda all over the world. Another example, Dr. What is the claim by social media here? Dr. Devi Shetty and ICMR has advised a list of over 22 precautionary steps against COVID-19. ICMR is the Indian Council of Medical Research, and then as they found the evidence, they are putting all that information here. The Apex Body's website does not have any such advisory. No such announcement was made by the government body yet. In the video, Dr. Shetty speaks about preventive measures against COVID-19, but he does not mention any of the points listed in the viral forward. And again, the story, and Dr. Devi Shetty is very famous, and on his name, a lot of viral points were being forwarded, which is not good. Um, one one of the things that after the lockdown we saw that a lot of PDFs of the newspapers started being forwarded on the WhatsApp, and one of the Twitter users said that it is illegal to share PDFs of electronic newspapers on WhatsApp. I personally also have received a lot of such newspapers on WhatsApp. And first of all, you see in one email, one WhatsApp forward, you have 100, 10, 20, 50 newspapers. My question is anyone able to read all 20, 30 page paper on their phone? I really doubt. I simply go to the web search and search for news. That is the quickest way and best way to learn, find, read news. But anyway, uh, 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 but this is turned out to be half true. India Today is rating it half true. It's not completely false. It is half true. Uh, the answer, if you go to this link, if you just search for this, you will see more details. It says the answer as to whether forwarding PDFs of e-papers is illegal is now clear. If a media house gives free PDFs of e-paper, then circulating them is not illegal. So you can still circulate those e-papers. But if someone makes a copy of the e-paper or a portion of it in PDF and it circulates it on WhatsApp, then it will be considered illegal. So this is how you have to um, go through and evaluate each of those stories and learn from it. Um, Another story that came out, again, I use Google Fact Check Explorer. Claim by WhatsApp message says Honda is giving 300 active scooters for Diwali. This was in October 2019. Boom rating was fake. Honda giving Activas for Diwali. Don't get taken for a ride. And you will see details about it. This is only this one paragraph. There's a whole maybe 5, 6, 7 page of discussion on this topic here, but I'm just highlighted a few things here. Boom contacted spokesperson of Honda who declined to provide a comment. This is the latest in a line of supposed giveaways being made by top brands. Only recently, Boom has debunked fake promises of free gifts by chocolate maker Cadbury and Amazon that were circulating in a similar manner on WhatsApp. Another picture. This was circulated many times recently. It only happens when there's a eclipse that is happening. There's a fake claim of two suns and the hunter's moon phenomena seen in the sky revived. You actually see the two suns here, and people thought there are two suns, but that's not correct. There's a scientific story. It's a scientific phenomenon. It is misleading claim that the moon appeared to resemble the sun in an optical illusion. And there's a fact check and there's a detail here. And there's a link here again from News 18, popular news in India. It's also saying that it is a false story. The post is fake, even though not photoshopped. The photograph shows an illusion of two suns in the sky caused by the presence of ice crystal in the atmosphere, which happens below temperatures of 30 degrees centigrade. The sun gets reflected by the ice crystals, which act like a mirror, and that's how you see it. You appears to see it's like an illusion that you are seeing two suns. And that story has been forwarded so many times. I have received it myself many times. And what bothers to me is that as soon as this story was posted, I see uh, beautiful pictures. That's fantastic, beautiful, all those kind of supportive messages coming back to the original poster. And again, people without thinking, they just read it, don't critically evaluate or think. And we need to teach our students, our children, how to think critically before believing something that is not true. Uh, Another fact-checking site for India, which is Alt News. And if you go to India Alt News, you just type in Google, you will see the website, and there are a number of different categories: politics, news, science, society, education, religion, and different stories are evaluated and identified, which are fake stories. This was another recently posted as of 12th June, so quite recent. Photos from 2002 of cow and leopard in Gujarat revived as a recent incident in Assam. So photographs of a leopard and cow are viral on social media, especially on Facebook. Entrepreneur Siddharth Pal tweeted a screenshot of the images shared by a Facebook user, and then Alt News did an evaluation of this and found out something totally different. Um, a keyword search on Google led us to an article on website onforest.com where the same images of a higher resolution are available. Article claims that the strange incident took place in Antoli village in Vadodara district in Gujarat 2002. So this picture, I'm sure many of you have seen it. It actually happened in Gujarat in 2002. So journalist Shyam Parekh had covered the incident in 2002 of the Times of India's. The story does not match social media claims. Viral messages allege the cow used to nurse the leopard when it was young, which is why it came to meet her. However, the Times of India quoted conservator of forest Vadodara H.S. Singh saying sometimes animal behavior can get modified in this case, probably because the leopard which has passed the sub-adult stage lives in rural area and not strictly a wild environment. So the picture is true, but it happened in 2002, but it was claimed that it happened in um, Assam. And then this was a post, somebody posted it on Facebook and it get forwarded, it got posted on WhatsApp. If only, and then story, if only some humans could learn from this. Of course, human need to learn from this. It is but natural, but not from a fake, not a false story. This took place in Assam. Again, remember, it happened in Vadodara in 2002. And after 18 years, this was posted again. This took place in Assam and bought a cow from the neighboring village. And they even went on to make a story that they bought a cow from the neighbor village, brought it home, and they are making up all the story. There's no truth or evidence to it. So this is we need to be very careful in what we see and what we should believe. And Google Fact Checker really helps you to identify those fake claims. Another more detailed or news this story. Keyword search onforest.com is the website where the real picture and actual where that happened and not in Assam. Antoli village in Vadodara in Gujarat, 2002. Exactly the same picture that was posted as being done, incidents being happening in Assam. Okay. Um, this is another same stranger than fiction, leopard and motherly cow. Um, you might want to go and explore this article. Again, more details about happening in Gujarat. This and more details. First photo record with video recorded by Manoj Thakur, a naturalist from the range forest officer, Rohit Vyas, honorary wildlife warden Manoj Thakur, and so on. And another example here is something called vishwasnews.com. That is another initiative in India that is identifying fake stories that are being promoted there. Uh, so you can also explore there. Again, they have coronavirus, politics, society, dunya, viral, health, swasthya, top news. All different topics are explored and identifying what is fake. I think we all need to take a personal responsibility to share what is true stories. So what do we do? This is something my next uh, uh, important topic that I want to highlight. We, being educators, being social reformers, we need to take personal responsibility to help them become responsible citizens, our students. How should they become use and refer to authentic information? We need to educate ourselves to impart right information. We need to inspire. We need to have a lively interactions and games. Public libraries in India, Narmad Library in Surat, or many other libraries across India can create initiatives and have collaborative, interactive sessions with parents, adults, children, and younger students. We need to have experts panels to show them, highlight them, educate them. In fact, public libraries can collaborate with schools and hold joint events there. We need to encourage, we need to think about information literacy to fight against fake news, awareness of consequences. Libraries partner with educators in schools and colleges, create events and library guides, explore sources to help detect fake information. So we can do so many different things. In fact, teaching and identify fake news can be one of the class session even in schools, and teachers should have requirements in their homeworks that they only going to accept a source which is reliable, and students will need to provide evidence that this is a right source and it is not fake information. At Drexel University, we had this webinar sometime back, Information Literacy in Libraries in the Age of Fake News, and the whole webinar explored questions like what is fake news, how it is related to library services, and what roles can libraries play in the fight against fake news. I think we have a tremendous responsibility here to provide and educate our students. If you just do a Google search, I just typing teaching detecting fake news webinars. You are going to pull up a lot of such webinars that have already happened. You will see that in 2020 guide to teach students how to reach and avoid fake news, disinformation, misinformation. At Tech Show. In fact, this particular image that I see in the start of my presentation is also from American Library Association Office of Actual Freedom. Fake news on free speech is the right to be misinformed. So there are so many webinars available. and our library school students, our educators, our professionals, we can all take this webinar when at our convenience and learn from it. Um, Educational examples, common sense education, there's a category for educators, and this is a classroom teacher in Energetic High School in Long Island State, US, has this um, instruction for the students. Don't get tricked by fake news. So, for young children, this is the session that this particular teacher has taught and will be teaching. PBS Learning Media, News and Media, uh, great website, public library channel, public educational channel here. They also have a Google Classroom, identify high quality site, lesson plan, the whole lesson to teach children how to identify fake news. This is a library guide at our university, digital university, and we have created a page on fake news. And there's a whole lots of information on this page. How do we find credentials of authorship? When we read an article, we need to think about who wrote this article, where this article is coming from, what their affiliations are, when was it published, how recent this article was. We need to think about looking at all these facts before we assume that it is authentic. And there's some schools. These are all various websites available to check. And these are some guidelines. Read past the headline. Check what news outlet published. Check the published date, time, who is the author. I just highlighted it before. Think before you share. Very important. Think before you share. And this is the website here. Article where this article got published in Huffington Post. And American Library Association's evaluating information page. And American Library Association has a nice, interesting page on because fake news can have real world consequences. In our library here at Drexel, we believe in informal learning, engaging in conversation, interactions with students. So we taught this as part of interesting game called Two Truths and a Lie. Our students participated in a game in the adapted version of Factitious. So Factitious is a website which is an online game created to test your ability to detect tech news. Each participant will read online articles and determine if they present true or fake news. So the students played in a game in a group. So there are three in the game. They have easy, medium, and hard categories. Um, and this is the instruction that you get when you start playing game. You need to swipe right if you think the article is real, and swipe left if you think the article is fake. And so we had 5 teams of students competed in playing games. So once the story was presented on the screen, the team discussed among each other and evaluated the source and thought whether it is false or right news. So here is an example. Active learning that is happening. Students are conversing with each other. They are looking at the source, looking at the and looking at the source and identify whether it is a authentic source or not. And this story was on the game. Alabama requires birth certificate to use public bathroom, and you can see that the story also had quotes. So first look believed that this is really a true story. But then they looked at the source and they found out that it is from viral records, viralcourse.com, which actually is a satire site. And the use of the loaded words like incense should tip you off that this is not a neutral news article. Not also that the sources are named, but the story does not tell you why they are quoted. Are the state officials who are the lawyers, who who are those people who posted this? So then that is a right, that was a fake news. If they selected correct, they got 40 points. That so students competed with each other in a fun way, and they learn how to identify fake news with a game called Factitious. And IFLA has a nice Federation of Library Association has a nice infographic to spot the fake news. Consider the source, check the author, check the date, check your biases, read beyond, supporting sources available, is it a joke, or ask the experts. And go for ask a librarian or consult a fast fact-checking site. And I'm including this because we have a lab at Drexel University in College of Engineering, which is called Drexel University Multimedia Forensic Lab. And these are the scientists and the students whose research was in the detection of fake images. And as I said, they had published this paper that you could find it here. Multimedia Forensics Lab is making sure you will not get fooled. So final thoughts. Serious action needed globally. Data on fake news points out the critical need for information literacy. Students in school, college, people in different communities, experiments, games, and active learning and fun way we can engage with our students so that they learn at the same time they're also having fun. And of course, we need to do assessment and evaluation. And my contact information, my email, and my website. And thank you so much for inviting me to do this talk. And I hope this is going to create more awareness among all of us and result in future dialogue. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Jay. It was wonderful. You have unleashed, demystified the fake news part, and to what extent, as librarians, we can throw light to our community, our stakeholders, our patrons. Also, you have shown. So, thanks a lot for sharing your views and the wisdom. As Dr. The chairman was mentioning earlier. So wonderful. So may I request Meeta to go ahead, please?
Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jaibat, for the amazing presentation on the topic of evaluating information in the age of fake information and news stories. Now, we have received certain questions from the participants. So, if you please allow me, I'll ask on their behalf.
Sure.
Yeah. The first question is from Mr. Selva Kumar Jagannathan. He's asking, is there any statistics available regarding information generated versus fake news?
Information generated, what kind of information generated he is talking about? Is it through scholarly publications? It is books? It is journal articles? Fake, there are two different types of information you are talking about here. So we do have statistics on fake news that through you saw in Statista. You do have statistics about number of journals, articles published using databases such as Web of Science and Journal Citation Reports, Insights and Scopus and all those things. But I'm not sure what he means by information generated.
Okay. There's one more question. What are the legal things associated with misinformation and malinformation?
There is a lot of information available on that topic, and there are legal cases available also on the website. If you see, give you one example. In my library, a few years ago, one of the professors contacted me that he is writing a book about some biomedical engineering project. And in that book, he wanted to use images um, that highlighted a particular um, experiment which is relevant to his project. And the total number of images were close to maybe 200 or 300. And these were all coming out from different publications like journals. Now, each journal publisher has its own policy in terms of how to cite an image. And there were clear guidelines that if we were, and we were told that if you want to use this image in your paper, you have to pay $300 or $400 for each image to be included in order to avoid copyright violations. And same thing could happen in Google, or same thing could happen in without knowing we are including an image and we are citing it, and we are actually opening ourselves for a lawsuit. And that has happened. There are a lot of cases are happening like that. And the professor decided not to use many of these images because we didn't want to pay hundreds of dollars. And why this happened, and this is a serious thought to think about. When we publish a paper, we are transferring our copyrights to the publisher. So the author gives up the copyright. All the work is done by the author and researchers, but he or she does no longer has copyright. So even if he has published a paper, and if somebody wants to use an image from that paper, the person who wants to use the image will have to contact publishers, and which they are going to charge enormous amount of money. And if not, they are going to sue. There will be a lot of legal implications for that. So images are very important, and whenever I see all these images being posted on our social media platforms in which there's no credit given to anybody, I feel really scared. That I hope nothing can happen there, but there are a lot of legal issues involved.
Right. There's one more question by Dr. Akhtar Parvez. Like all across the world, including US and India, it has been seen that political parties spread fake news. So is there any report which suggests the percentage of fake news shared by political parties?
I think we will have to do a statistical research on that kind of data. And we in our libraries, we have created a website, a library guide, which has all those data sets available. So we need to, and if there is such data available, it would definitely be available through Statista or Statistical Abstract of the United States or many other data sites. If you just simply search in our discovery platform, like Summon or EBSCO's discovery platform, it can pull up, point to the articles, whether it is published in a book or in a journal. I'm sure there should be something there.
Okay, there is one more question by Parvez, Dr. Parvez only. Like it has been seen that once a fake news becomes viral, the originator deletes such news from his or her account. So can we still identify who was the originator?
In fact, there is an initiative. I remember some time back I read where all those stories have been being archived. As if, of course, they have to be published on the website first. But I know that those images are probably came from some other website, I guess. And if we are able to access that, then we can be able to uh, pinpoint. But if somebody has deleted it, then I don't know how we can catch them.
Yeah, because it is very important, like who is the originator of this fake news, no?
Right. Exactly. So if they have been deleted, um, there would be some kind of intrusion detection or some kind of a software or machine learning algorithms that could be used. I can connect with my professor here who is doing research on that aspects on cyber detection using high-tech machine learning algorithms. And it's kind of a detective work in a way.
Yes, yes, of course. Okay, there is one more question from Saira Qureshi. Like, sir, how do we find the authenticity of any post on WhatsApp? Like, can you find out the source or person who has generated it? Or
Exactly.
even in the on other social media, like,
Yes, and that is why the Google fact checker that came out is the most powerful way of detecting the stories, because they are indexing a number of tools. These are fact checking tools. So if you have a doubt, um, simply go to Google fact checker, and I have found so many such stories that were fake, which I thought were not fake. And I think we need to resist our urge to forward right away a particular message. As soon as we think that this is something fishy in this message, we should go back and fact check before we post it. I think we need to do. That is why I have curtailed my WhatsApp activities so much recently, because all I was getting was all these forwarded messages. I was wasting so much time going through hundreds of messages for no reason. It was actually, I was getting sad by looking at it. So except for some groups, which some library groups I'm there, some good friends I'm there, but um uh, and I just the uh, I'm very much I don't have any hesitation in using WhatsApp, but it becomes a problem when people don't use it properly.
Can I just add one thing, Jay?
Yes.
The first thing people should do, you see, whenever they receive any forward, I think the first assumption they should make is that it is a fake news. Probably only then they will be able to control themselves.
Exactly. And unless if any story is shared on the WhatsApp with no link or URL to any authenticated source, I would assume that this is not true.
But
Unless
even Mr. Jay, even without that, you see, even if there is a link, unfortunately, we have seen that some of the news agencies in the recent past
yeah,
found to be, spreading misinformation. So
yeah,
even including News 18, which you referred to in your talk.
and you did mention it to me. Also, send out one article in Times of India
Right.
about how they were uh, mistakenly promoting a story which was actually false. But I try to avoid the political sites or things like that.
Yeah, that's
Here.
better.
Okay, there is one more question from Dr. Babita Gaur. Like Truecaller app, is there any app or something so that we don't get fake news, or we can avoid getting such fake news on social media?
This is a good question, but maybe there is an app that can identify a fake before it is allowed on WhatsApp, maybe. But I don't know if such a technology is developed yet. But I think it will happen. I think those who are devoted to the cause of true and authentic news, they probably have started working on this.
Okay, one more question, this last question. It's from Dr. Meenal Oak. Like many times we found that the publisher using your name as an editor of the journal without even seeking your permission or informing you. Will you please focus on that?
Very good question. And that has happened. In fact, my presentation on research integrity last time, which we did, also highlighted some of those things. And if they are supposed to take your permission, if that is not taken, they can follow through later on and go to appropriate channels and make sure that particular article is retracted, or they need to take permission before you do that. They have to, and this is what I think is important for our youth to know, that they simply cannot post anything, even somebody's picture or photo, they cannot share without their permission. But the thing is that you have a share option available, so they just simply click on share. Although there are provisions in the privacy channels that they can the actually block that option from being shared. But still, nobody is going to able to prevent taking a screenshot of that and then they can share, which is another problem.
I think we'll take one more question, just last question. It's from Mama Shah. She's asking like how much ever you make children to sit inside at this pandemic, if chance comes they run out. It's the same thing with the fake news.
I think this problem is becoming serious and serious and serious. And I know we have to really take it very, very seriously. And I know that kids, everybody has phone now, and how much restrictions are going to put. Even that's the same problem with the TV, right? They keep on watching TV, and sometimes we don't know what they are listening or hearing is true or it is not biased. Depending upon a stand of particular channel, those kind of news are promoted more. Uh, I think it's a serious problem, and that is why all the schools, education institutions, the libraries, they need to take it seriously. A part of the problem also is we do not encourage our children and students to go to the library or education institutions. Rather, if there's a free time, they'll go for movies or go for dinner. But hardly anybody will say, okay, why not we go to the library in the evening today and explore things? Uh, so um, I am not sure in India how the public libraries are being used. But last time I went somewhere, there were not many people in the library. Those people have not been going to the library. Everybody is on the mobile and all those things. I'm not saying that you will go to the library. I'm just saying that go once or twice, not even every day, but at least focus and learn something. And many libraries should be offering online digital content which is real, authentic, and they can read that.
True, very true. So thank you, Mr. Butt, for responding to the queries of the participants so well. And I would request the other participants, if you have any questions, you can ask through email to Mr. Butt. Now, I would request Dr. Akhtar Hussain, Secretary of Manlibnet, to deliver the formal vote of thanks of today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Meeta. Now it's time to say a formal vote of thanks. I must say, session was very much informative. On behalf of Manlibnet and SES, a very special thanks to Mr. Jebat, Excellent City Libraries USA. When we requested to Mr. Jebat for this session, he has really agreed to deliver the talk for the Manlibnet International Virtual Library. We, from the very bottom of our heart, express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Jebat for conducting a highly effective session. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time for your busy schedule for this event. A big thank you to the participants of this session. The active participation of the delegates was very much reflected during the session. Thank you very much for your active participation and interaction. Also, a special thanks to SES technical team for coordinating the session effectively. Thanks very much to entire team of Manlibnet for their shared vision and continued support. With this, we come to the end of today's session. We shall meet again tomorrow at 2 p.m. for further important and interesting presentation. We request to submit feedback from this session. Till then, goodbye, take care, stay safe.
Sincere gratitude to Yagnik sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and it is always good to see you all on this platform. And so happy to see Kamlesh Bhai and everybody today.
Thank you, Jai Bhai.
Yeah. So it was great.
Google Chrome लाके दे
Will and you know me quite well in that sense that I
ये हमारी बात डोंगल से
believe
काल
in
नाटरा तो लैंड
promoting
पर
the
चला
good
मुझे
qualities
हमारे
of
लैंड
society and everybody here. And in whatever way we can do that, we should take that responsibility to enhance the quality of information and teaching to our younger generation. And we should not spare any course to stop doing that. We need to take responsibility ourselves. And thank you so much. And I hope, I don't know, I could not see the PowerPoint. Was it okay later on? Or
Yes,
was,
Yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
yes,
yes,
We
yes.
are
It
we
was
are
perfect.
able to see. Don't worry,
Yes,
Jason.
yes. Yeah, it was
Okay,
perfectly
okay,
fine. Okay.
एक चाबी
okay.
था
Because I had,
Thank you very much.
okay. So will this be available on the YouTube video or how is it going to work?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
I
I
will
will inform you.
हाँ
Yeah, it will be available on the YouTube video. We have a
Okay,
recorded it. Okay.
okay.
So
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Jaibat, and all the participants. And with this, we end today's sessions, and tomorrow's link will be shared with all of you through email. Okay.
Okay,
So,
great.
till then, goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
ओके अब अल्लाह किरण
Yeah,
परवेज
goodbye.
लैंड निकल के ना काढ़े लो
Bye
तो
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
हैं
Bye.
भाई उबे
Bye. Okay. Okay. So happy to see everyone. Bye.
और ले जाओ तो ले जा काम पड़े
Okay. How do I?
Hello. Any problem, Jay?
No. I was just trying to read some comments.
Okay. Fine. Yes.
Yeah. So
तो
because
यार
I
ये
didn't
होना
get a chance to see what people wrote.
Right.
But I think somehow maybe we should, in the beginning, for the next time, we should stop everybody from video and things
And
like that.
yes.
And is it possible? I don't know in Google platform.
Yes. We'll try to
करेक्ट
do
भी नहीं
that. Yes. Okay. Jay.
खाली बुलाई
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I'm just trying to see where okay. I'm good.
प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं आ रहा नहीं तो परवेज आमी